Chairman Khrouchtchev's villa at Gagra on the Black Sea is the scene of informal meetings between the Soviet boss and Secretary of State, Dean Rusk. Meetings that follow on the heels of an East-West atom test ban. Mr. Rusk said that they touched on many things in a relaxed atmosphere, but reached no conclusions on any further agreements. Later, the meeting adjourned to a recreation room, where Mr. Khrouchtchev took on Mr. Rusk at badminton. Decked out in his Ukrainian blouse, the Russian leader defeated the American. But that's the life of a diplomat. A rare and informal portrait of behind-the-scenes diplomacy. Later, Mr. Rusk is back to serious business as he arrives in Bonn to discuss the atom ban treaty with Chancellor Adenauer. West German leaders were reluctant to sign the treaty, fearing that it might lead to recognition of East Germany as a legal government. On his way home from Moscow, Mr. Rusk stops over to reassure the West German government. He is closeted with the Chancellor for 7 hours, and they come to an agreement. West Germany will sign the pact, relying on the U.S. pledge that Bonn will be consulted on future negotiations with Moscow. Less than a day after his return from Moscow and Bonn, Mr. Rusk appears before 3 Senate committees as hearings are opened on the treaty. Congress itself must ratify the pact, and Mr. Rusk is the first witness before the Senate Foreign Relations and Armed Services Committees and the House Senate Atomic Energy Committee. Mr. Rusk urged Senate approval of the test ban treaty and promised that President Kennedy would end the pact overnight if Russia violated it. He said the Big Three treaty was not based on trust of Russia. You do not stake the life of a great nation on trust, he added. Many other pro and con witnesses are still to be heard before a vote is taken.